Hey everyone, so the how-to video is finally here. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing in this video is teaching you how to make the Hello Kitty duct tape wallet. Okay, so first up, you're going to need pink, clear tape, blue, yellow, and black. You can get all these colors at like Michael's, Joann's, Walmart, basically any craft store, sometimes Staples. Alright, so let's get started. First up, this is going to be a pretty long video, so sorry about that. Alright, so first up, I'm going to lay down the yellow tape. You can use any color. Cut it at 8 inches. Oh, I got this cutting board at Joann's for $10. I recommend it over any cutting board. It's the best. I'm starting at 1 inch. Oh, you can't see that. Okay, so I'm starting it at 1 inch, and I do this so I can see all the numbers down here instead of starting it at 0. Okay, so now I'm going to put some light blue tape on top of that, and now it's 3 inches, but I bring it up to the 4 because I start at 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, so I hope this makes sense so far. So now I have something that's 8 inches by 3 inches. Now I'm going to take the black tape. We are just going to cut 2 strips at 8 inches, but we're not going to put them on top of each other yet. So I will show you why. This one, just make sure that your little edges are even. Set that down really quickly. Can you guys see that? Okay, good. I'm just making sure that it's even with this edge. Now I'm going to place this lined up with the bottom. And of course the one I make, I don't line it up with the bottom. Okay. And we're going to do this again. Just line it up at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so then just smooth it out. And the trick for getting no wrinkles is just smooth it out quickly, lay it on quickly, and just don't worry about it once it's laid on. Don't try to adjust it or anything. Now we're putting this piece of tape on. It's 1/4 of an inch over the top, so it's not on directly. The wallet ends here, and I'm putting it 1/4 of an inch taller. This way I can fold it over and create a really even trim, like this. So I hope this makes sense so far. I'm pretty bad at explaining things, but lay out some tape, and we're going to cut 3 pieces of tape that are 3 3/4 inches each. So, okay, so we have our 3 pieces. Alright, now what I'm going to do is just pop the clear tape down on top of it, do the exact same thing. Now I'm going to pull up the black here and pull up your clear tape and just put this directly on top. Okay, so now that we have these 3 pieces here, we're going to, got a little air bubble. I'll teach you how to get rid of air bubbles too. You can either just do what I just did to pop them out, or on the back where you see the air bubble right there, piece of tape on me, take your X-Acto knife and just lightly poke the air bubble, pinch it out, and it's gone. So that's a good way to get rid of air bubbles. Next up, what we're going to do is create the hidden pocket and the pocket on top of the ID. Okay. So I set these down, and I'm going to do the exact same thing where I cut 3 pieces of tape that are 3 3/4 inches long each. So we have 1, 2, 3. Alright, so with this one, I take it up, and I started at the 2. I really just start in random places. You want to make this 3 inches tall. So you should have something like this, 3 3/4 by 3 inches. And then you should have this lone piece of tape. Set that aside as well. And now what we're going to do is take our clear tape. So you just have 3 strips that are 3 3/4 inches long. Alright, so now we're going to take this big piece and you pop it down on the bottom. Make sure it's nice and lined up. And then you grab another piece, and instead of bringing it all the way to the top, you leave about a 3/8 of an inch. Whoa, I didn't know. Okay, so sorry about that. My memory just got filled up. So anyways, what I was showing you is that you should have about 3/8 of an inch of stickiness left. So yeah. Now what we're going to do, oops, I forgot to put on, there's the third one. Now we have to put on the stickiness of this one. I almost forgot, sorry about that. So now, flip it over. With the sticky side, that's when I'll zoom in so you can see. This is where you line it up at the top. I don't line it up at the bottom or anything, because this is where you need it to be even, and that's where you need it to be straight. Now if it goes off on the bottom a little bit down here, you can always cut it, or the side you can cut it, but you really don't want to cut the stickiness off, because you need the most you can get, so it won't fall apart. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to add the trim. Out of your 4 pockets, pick your favorites. So I like this one, and this one. This one has a little uh-oh in it. I can teach you how to fix that later. Okay, so now what we're going to do is trim. I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and then I'm going to do the rest. Okay, so we're going to start over here. Alright, now it's nice and even. I'm just going to cut it at 4 inches. Because sometimes when it's longer, it makes it easier. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing. Make sure you can see this. I line it up. And make it even down here and here. So it's even here and here. Now here's where the test of truth comes in. Just fold this down. There we go, that one's a bit better. So then there's your trim. And then if you have any excess like I do here, you just cut it off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do yellow. Okay, so what I have here is a piece of black tape that was cut at 3 3/4 inches. Then I cut it in half, like so. Alright, so now what we're going to do, I like my pockets in this arrangement, just think it looks good. And bring down your wallet so you'll see it. And so, you're going to put tape on only 2 of your pockets. This is key to the no fold over line thing. Alright, make sure your yellow is even. That it looks even, so looks pretty even. I have to fold this underneath just so I know where the bottom of the wallet is. It might be wrinkly, but just ignore that because you're not going to see it. Now with black, try not to mess it up when you move it, if you decide to move it, measure this out. And you're going to just take a measurement from the top of the wallet to the bottom, or from the top of where your first card pocket is to the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. Cut that in half. Alright, so now you just pop this piece on, make sure it's very even. And then you just lift that up. So now I'm just trying to look at it, just making sure everything's even. It looks even. Good. Now you'll notice I have some scrap pieces hanging off here. Just ignore that because we're going to get that later. Okay, so now time for the ID. My IDs are cut at 2.5 by 3 3/8. My little brother cut them and they're very badly done. Alright, so this extra piece right here, save that because we're going to be using it for later. Now, you have your piece of duct tape, black, and you just want to measure it and make sure it's the same length as your ID, and then cut it in half. And excuse my voice because it is dying. I'm going to use the smaller one for the trim. Keep this piece because we are going to be using that for later as well. Now I like to make sure everything is nice and even. I have to kind of get down so I can see the light. Alright. Now I'm going to zoom in for this as well, so you can basically see what I'm doing. Move this stupid thing. Alright, it's a pretty bad angle, but sorry about that. Okay, so now I am just placing it on top of the ID, and it's like 1/4 of an inch of trim. So as you can see, the ID starts here, and then the trim is down 1/4 of an inch. So now, oh, I forgot. My bad. Just line it back up with everything. We have to do this trim where your card pocket goes in. Okay, so again, I just overlap it by 1/4 of an inch. There you go. And then just cut it where the bottom is. And then trim this down. You're not trimming it down all the way. You're just trimming it down so you have a little bit left so you can fold this over. Now, when you're folding it over, you kind of have to, I'm just going to cut this piece right here so it's easier to fold. You kind of have to move, you have to like direct the ID so it knows where to go to be even sometimes. There you go. I know that made no sense, but you'll find out what I mean once you make it, you know. It's just all about making the wallet, and then, yeah, sorry, I'm really bad at explaining things. Alright, so, now we just pop this on, making sure it's even. This is the card pocket. You want the clear side facing you. Your long piece that you had, and pop this down. You can just kind of guesstimate where to put it. Nope, I didn't put it long enough, so I have to redo it. Okay, so basically what you're trying to do is make sure that they're both matching and lining up. So now what we do with our wallet is make sure that it's lined up at the end, so you kind of like know where you're putting it, but also more importantly, make sure it's lined up at the top. So there you go. So as you can see, it's even, and then this is nice and lined up with the bottom. So now we're getting to the other half of the billfold. So now what you want to do, you want to cut off all of your excess stuff. Hello. And now what I'm going to do is let's get rid of this. Oh my gosh, you know what? I completely forgot a step. Oops.